Okay, gonna try and make this as quick as possible. The city of Baltimore suing Glock over Glock switches. ATF can't stop the importation of Chinese-made Glock switches. You can 3D print them now. There are 3D printers that make a aluminum alloy. Sorry, that's my neighbor's car firing up. Basically make them indestructible. That's beside the point. It's not that Baltimore's suing Glock because there's so many Glock clones. Smith & Wesson actually got sued over, I think, their Sigma line because it was too much of a almost the exact copy of Glock. And they had to pay I can't remember what the word is. It starts with an R. You have to pay them a royalty. That's what it is, per pistol made, plus they had to settle the lawsuit. And now the original patent on Glock is gone, so you're having all these Glock clones popping up. But beside the point, the main reason I was asked a couple of days ago in an email what issue I had that popped me up on the radar of the ATF because of my last video that somehow only got 8 views. I went to a place in Texas City. I was traveling back and forth from Galveston to Houston. One time was with my father. He stopped to see a friend. The friend went to the shop because bullets were getting scarce then, right? And he knew a friend that was a competitive shooter that was getting into mass producing bullets and also had an FFL. Well, we get to a shop and I was looking for a stainless steel 1911. I won't say the name of the company, but I get there and sure shit, he's got 5 pistols, 4 or 5 pistols that he needs to sell, and he's not selling any more pistols. And he says, "Look, I'm getting out of the gun business. $750, you can take this out the door and it's yours." You know, filled out the paperwork. I had my CHL at the time, no problem, whatever. I go to shoot this pistol. Excuse me. Major manufacturer 1911s, brand new out of the box, and it had this little glitch. It may fire one time, it may empty the whole mag. It may fire a couple of times, then shoot 3 or 4 times. It may go full automatic right out of the box. It may go 5 or 6 shots and then empty out the remainder. It was glitchy as hell. I knew that you needed a license, not a license, you needed a tax stamp for a full automatic gun, and it had to be manufactured before a certain time. So if it stayed reliable and full automatic, I'd have probably just buried the son of a bitch out in the middle of nowhere and kept it. But it was glitchy as shit. You never knew when it was going to go full automatic or empty out the rest of the mag, da-da-da. So I decided, well, fuck it. Called the other guy back. He's out of the gun business, doesn't want anything to do with it, da-da-da-da. So I go to a gun store that's pretty close to where I am now and say, "Look, I got a problem. I don't know if we have to notify the ATF. I don't know what the procedure here is, but I've got this 1911 I bought new out of the box from this guy at this store, and what do we do from here?" Well, the guy gets on his computer and contacts the manufacturer, and it pops up, "Call this number." So he calls, says, "Hey, I'm Harold Muck and Futch from this fucking store. What do we do?" Well, unbeknownst to me, there was a recall issued. There wasn't a recall issued on the guns. They knew there was a problem with it. They had to log it officially at both at the store and the manufacturer, which put me on the ATF radar, right? Fast forward, after all the bullshit that I went through with the ATF and all that stupidity over a gun I bought legally, brand new out of the box, I went to a gunsmith that was just around the corner from the gun store now. And he basically said that the part that was broken in this 1911, brand new 1911, he can replicate the problem on any 1911 with a grinder wheel and a buffer. Basically, you grind this one little part just a little bit, and then you buff the hell out of it, and you basically have a slam fire, fully automatic, not fully semi-automatic, fully automatic 1911. You can turn that series and most series 1911s full automatic with modifying one simple part. It's dangerous. It has a potential of exploding on you, but it can be done, and it can be done very simply. And not only that, there are other rifles that can be modified in the exact same way. Rather simply in the same fashion. And he listed the 3 or 4 major guns that can be done this way. Because basically you're making a wedge to disengage this one part. Well, that one part has to be in the firearm for it to function, obviously. But if you just do that one little modification, everything still levels up in the gun, or you can still put the gun together, but now you have a fully automatic handgun. So you can take a 1911 from basically 1911 when they were made, pre World War II 1911 to 1911 still manufactured today, modify one part on it, and it become fully automatic. This isn't a Glock issue. This isn't a city issue. This isn't an ATF issue. This is taking something that wasn't supposed to be done and modifying it in a way that makes it illegal. It's already illegal to do what they're doing. But yet, if we allow one city to not sell these firearms because they can be modified, there isn't basically a gas operated system out there that can't be modified in some form or fashion to become full auto. It may be quite dangerous, and it may be very, very crude, and there's a very high potential of bodily damage to yourself by doing this, but it's possible. So even though you do something 100% legal that the ATF allows by selling brand new firearms, somebody can modify them, and just out of sheer coincidence, you may get a manufacturing defect out of a brand new firearm that turns it fully automatic. So, to answer the question, yes, it was 1911 that went fully automatic. I did everything legal. I told everybody, hey, this is the problem I'm having. Where do we go from here? I was not notified that they notified the ATF until after the fact that I turned in the handgun. I actually made money off of selling that handgun back to a gun dealership because I paid $750 for it, and I think they gave me full MSRP of $13.95 for it. And they found out that it wasn't the gun dealer that I bought it from that modified it in any way. It was a manufacturing fault from the manufacturing defect from the manufacturer of the handgun. But they decided not to recall the rest of the firearms that they knew had the potential of doing the exact same thing that mine did. But yet I was put on a government list of dangerous or watch people because I simply bought a brand new gun that had a manufacturing defect that anybody can do. I mean, hell, you can do it with a file and a green scrubby pad from your kitchen sink and have a fully automatic 1911. So this isn't an issue with one gun. This isn't an issue with the ATF's failure of allowing imports. This is an issue with gangs. This is, if you support this in any fashion, this is gun control. Because what they want to do is simply outlaw every gas operated system. Call it semi-automatic, call it whatever you fucking want. They want to go back to revolvers. And once you go back to revolvers, then it's an issue of capacity and reloads and how powerful of a revolver can you have at that point. They simply want to get rid of all the gas operated systems and detachable mags. And if Baltimore is allowed to sue and this is allowed to stand, out of all the pro-gun things that have come out lately, if this is allowed to stand in any capacity whatsoever, city, county, state, if it's allowed to go through and allowed to pass, you're not addressing the original problem, because Glock's still going to manufacture Glocks. Criminals are still going to get their hands on illegal items. People are still going to violate the fucking law and modify guns to make them fully automatic. And nobody's going to address the original thing of this is nothing but gun control. So yes, simply buying a gun, telling somebody there's a problem with it, will get you on a ATF watch list. But notice the ATF doesn't go after people that are importing or exporting or importing or the chain of command. No, they want the guns off the street. They want as many guns on the street, fully automatic lock switches, out there shooting at cops so that they can justify the ramifications of taking gas operated systems away from we the people. And that's just it. That's the ATF's job now. They don't give a shit if some cop gets the shit shot out of them. And actually, if you've never shot a fully automatic gun before, they're very hard to control. And that's why it's basically spray and pray. After the first one or two bullets, odds are it's going to arc up and to the right, and most of your bullets are going to miss your original target anyhow. That's why you see these guys basically at point blank range shooting at multiple police officers and nobody fucking gets hit, instead of actually learning the basics of gun control, or not gun control, but of firearm proficiency. But you can do something 100% right, 100%, I don't want to say allowed, but legal, because I'm starting to hate the word allowed, and no fault of your own, end up on a government shit list because you simply bought something that was legal to begin with. And that's what they're wanting to fucking outlaw. Your ability to buy, purchase, possess, transport, manufacture legal items. So, love y'all. Go fuck yourselves.